the President. We believe that we have completed our mission, and I ask the President of Pan-African Parliament to declare the Honorable as being fourth Vice President. Thank you.
Your Council. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Following the announcement of the actual votes, I now declare as fourth Vice President of Pan-African Parliament, Honorable Jida Mahmat. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Moi, Jida Mamar Mohammed.
Jida Mama Mohammed solemnly undertakes before the African people and before God to undertake my functions of the fourth Vice President of Pan-African Parliament with honor and dignity at the service of the African peoples, to serve with loyalty and in the African Union, to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitutive Act of the African Union and the protocol to the treaty creating the African Economic Community relating to the Pan-African Parliament as defined by the law, and to promote the respect of principles, the adherence to principles of good governance, democracy, human rights, international humanitarian law, peace, stability, and all objectives of the Pan-African Parliament. So help me God.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you. At this juncture, may I call upon the representative of the chairperson of the African Union Commission, His Excellency Musa Faki, represented here by Ambassador Alex Ratbai, at least to give his own view of how things went. And thank you, I believe, honorable members, for the good work of today. So I call upon Ambassador Alex. Yeah, 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 yeah. The yeah is sweet and nice, but its frequency may need to be adjusted.
I agree. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Honorable President Chief Sharumbira, President President-elect of the Pan-African Parliament, honorable members of the Bureau, distinguished members of Parliament, my first words to congratulate you for the holding of this extraordinary session and the outcome that we have achieved. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to the ad hoc committee who was requested at the last minute to support the Office of the Legal Counsel. Congratulations to you for the quality with which you undertook these elections in all transparency. We have just, if I can say so, turned over a new leaf, which adds to the long list of this tumultuous life of the Pan-African Parliament. I hope that we will carry or put the Pan-African Parliament on a good track and make it a model among our organs. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to remind you that the Malabo Protocol empowers you a great deal. Instead of seeing the Parliament coming to Addis Ababa to defend its budget, instead rather the executive of Addis Ababa has to come to Africa and present its budget. Do you see the power, the extent of the power and responsibility you have? So we still have a long way. We still have on the 28 ratifications, 16 are still outstanding for the Malabo Protocol to enter into force. And this advocacy is your duty, honorable members of Parliament, in your respective countries. That's what we expect from you, honorable members of Parliament. Allow me to express on behalf of the entire Commission, especially the African Union Commission Chair, our satisfaction. It is true, it's a Parliament, but I would like to congratulate the maturity with which you expressed your choices this morning. Honorable Chief Charumbira.
What we learned this morning, we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do in terms of fixing a lot of points, and that you have to start within your own regional caucus. Why am I saying that? You are clearly challenged. 23, 22, it means that you have to work with your caucus. Beyond the caucus is the whole plenary. And that's the only way for you, after your term, to leave a legacy is really to pave the road and to put the Pan-African Parliament on the right way. Allow me also to use a very powerful word during your oath: honor, dignity, good governance. All of you, you repeat it. This is exactly what we want to see with this very important organ of our union. I hope, and sincerely, that collectively, this is the responsibility of the whole Bureau, is a collective responsibility. We do hope that we'll move greatly to achieve this mission, to achieve the aspiration of our continent. With that few words, allow me to thank you sincerely allowing this session this morning, and I thank you.
I think we should have allowed the newly elected to, in 3 minutes, to deliver some statement on thanking everybody who voted. Professor Masauda, yeah, just 2 minutes to say thank you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السيد رئيس البرلمان الإفريقي، السادة نواب الرئيس،
Members of the Pan-African Parliament, the Honorable Vice President, Honorable members of the ad hoc committee, peace and the blessing of God to be with you. I would like to thank God who enabled us to successfully carry out this work of this extraordinary session. I also like to thank the leaders of the African Union, especially the President of my country, His Excellency, the President of my country. I also like to thank the Minister of Foreign Affairs, as well as and congratulate His Excellency Charombira for his elections. I would like to congratulate my brother Jida. I'd like to seize this opportunity to thank the Northern Caucus that supported my candidacy to the post of Vice President. The support of the Northern Caucus allowed me to be elected in order to take part of the deliberations of this August Assembly. In addition, I'm ready to work with all countries, and I'm going to follow the consultation policy. I won't spare any effort to work in the interest of our continent. We're going to do our level best to serve the people of our continent. I also like to seize the opportunity to thank the team of the African Union Commission that manages elections brilliantly, especially Professor Aja. Thank you very much. The blessings and peace of God be with you.
May I give an opportunity to fourth Vice President, Honorable Jida?
Thank you, Honorable President, for giving me the floor to express my gratitude to all members of the Pan-African Parliament and all the caucus chairs for the work that they have done over the past 2 or 3 days. Day and night, we worked together, worked hard to achieve this outcome. I would also seize the opportunity to thank and congratulate the members of the African Union Commission who came and did remarkable work, as well as the members of the Pan-African Parliament as the staff members. You worked day and night until 3 hours, 3 in the morning. So also like to thank you and congratulate you, especially the African Union, the Commissioner of the Legal Affairs. You were very solid and tough with MPs. It's not always easy. When you took the floor, we wanted to disturb you, and you resisted. So in a nutshell, that's it. I also like to thank the 2 vice presidents who organized this session. It wasn't easy at all. It was a huge challenge. The leadership of President Gayu, who accepted that President Lusa should preside. I also like to thank him. Congratulations and thank you for your contribution. I would also like to seize this opportunity to express and my gratitude and congratulate the highest authority of Chad that supported me day and night until this morning, that enabled me to be elected as fourth vice president. I'd like to seize the opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude to them. So I'd like to thank everyone. Please count on us. When I came to the Pan-African Parliament since 2013 until today, I had been looking for the problem, wondering where the problem of the Pan-African was found. I thought at some point I thought it was just about tourism. At a given moment, we said let's look for where the problem lies. So in 2021, we thought the problem was between Anglophones and Francophones, but in the end, it's not a Francophone and an Anglophone problem. The solution we have found at this moment, our problem.
We all know to.
Yeah. Sorry. Thank you. Yeah. Power is back. Our interpreters, are you okay? Can we proceed? Interpretation. Are you okay? French. Are you okay? No French, no Portuguese, no Arabic. Interpreters, can you report progress? Hello, interpreters. Interpreters, please. I can see them waving their hands, but I don't hear from you whether there is progress. They are just waving their hands, showing as if everything is okay. Interpreters, are you okay now? Any interpretation? French? Arabic? Nothing. Yeah. That is democracy. We have to carry everybody on board. So we can't move with one language. Jeff? Position themselves wherever they are. Interpretation, please. Mr. Gali, who is in charge of this interpretation?
I've called my colleague who they say that call technician who is trying
What is it?
In the booth of interpretation.
Is there?
Yes, is there.
Hey, the power is back. Interpretation, are you okay now?
Yes, everything is okay now. We can proceed.
Is it okay? Interpretation, are you all right now?
Yes, Your Excellency.
Guys, for that break. I stand here to do two things. First thing is to thank all of you, honorable members, for voting us back into the Bureau. I want to thank you for voting us back. The complexion of the Bureau, except the fourth Vice President, which is a case of a military coup in Gabon, and they are suspended. The full team is back. You have brought it back. Congratulations. The full team is back. The full team is back with the youthful, more youthful Jida joining the team, joining the Bureau. So thank you very much for that. Thank you for the confidence. We promise, we undertake to be your messengers directed by yourselves and to work for you and for Africa, for the citizens of this continent. I want to thank the chair of the African Commission, African Union Commission, His Excellency Musa Faki. I want to say for acting within the time that the Executive Council had directed that this bureau be in place, because they said before the end of March or by the end of March, and we've achieved that deadline before the end of March. I want to thank you for that. And I want to thank, of course, the representative, his ambassador. We just call him Ambassador Alex. He's known as Ambassador Alex everywhere. That by you'd be overdoing it, just say Ambassador Alex. And people know who that person is. I want to thank you for the cool manner you've done it. Legal counsel, she's not very old in that post, that position, professor. She's a professor of law. So it means the union now will not make any illegal misdirection with a professor, a young lady. Maybe she's old, but she appears young. Young lady is professor of law. She was an expert international law, I know. So I think we will move much faster on everything. Then I also thank all of you for being patient, even despite when the power is off, you remain seated, which is good. But big thanks go to Honorable Third Vice President Lucia for steering the ship. Honorable Lucia, you have done great. You have also defied the myth, the thinking that when it is a woman, maybe things become more difficult. In fact, you did so well that even if a man was in that city this morning, probably the man would have failed. You did very well. You did very well. This election had potential of collapsing, but you have succeeded. I want to thank Dr. Gayo, the second vice president, for being part of the process. The ADO committee, very resilient committee. I want to thank you. That none of you has disappeared. You are all here. The elections are over. They are really over. The elections are over. So there's nothing to do when the guitar is off and start to remain dancing. People say, "Oh, this one is something wrong." Huh? What are you dancing to? The music is the concert is closed. So that, please pack your bags and go and do work home. The elections are over. Let's not keep on saying, by the way, he belongs. We all belong to PAP now. We all belong to PAP. And please, let's not be, what can I say, inferior to national parliaments in terms of the way we do things. This is a continental parliament. An election at PAP should be more dignified than the election of councillors and MPs somewhere in the national parliaments. We should always ask our questions, is this behavior better or worse than what is at a lower level? So don't start arguing when you go back to the hotels. You know, winning is winning. It's about numbers. Whether you win by 1, by 2,000, you still become part of those who won by 10,000. So winning is winning. Yes. My brother, Ambassador Alex, made a comment on the caucus, Southern Africa, and then if you saw the results in this room, probably I exceeded 80% of the votes. When you go to the caucus, it means the dynamics were different. The dynamics. Because you brought up this issue. When we started to vote, I was counting and others, Chief will get about 36 votes, and after 45. And we sat there comfortably. But instead they got 23. Why? Because something happened even just before we voted. People swung and someone went that direction. The dynamics, Ambassador Alex, of these things sometimes are not based on objective reasoning. So we should take results as results. And even those that voted should know that that part is over. Being contested is normal. You can't be in this position if you are not contested. So we accept. Let us now serve the citizens of this continent. People of Africa are always saying, what is this PAP about? Even in the Midland, what is this PAP about? So we have a challenge. Let's move trade. Let's move economies of this thing. But something, Ambassador Alex, there is a lot of things, as you say, at PAP. We need to rethink PAP in many ways. We need to rethink PAP in many ways. And we would undertake that 1 day, 2 day reflections on PAP. And we will invite all of you to come and join us. PAP outputs, PAP results, performance criteria of PAP should be very clear. Otherwise, we will never be seen as a vibrant parliament. The last part of my speech is to say bon voyage, because after this we are now closing. And as we close, some were asking me, when is the next session? It's fair to mention that as per tradition, in May, there will be a session in May. For the specific dates, the Bureau will need to decide. Most countries urge as the Bureau not to notify parliaments late. So I believe the Bureau will be able, even this week by Thursday, to agree on what would be the suitable dates for the May session. South Africa, where we are, is holding elections on the 29th May, which means whatever dates we come up with, we should close our session well before that date to allow voting in this country. So the dates will be coming. Otherwise, let me say, we end here, and I want to thank all of you for your patience. The chamber is almost full. The most is almost full. Let's keep this spirit and come back in May in full form. But doesn't that mean that PAP between now and May, nothing will happen? No, there are some activities based on committees. If a particular committee on health or this committee, you find yourself still involved in various PAP activities. Let me thank you finally for doing the good work you've done today. Bon voyage. National anthem, I believe. Sorry. The national anthem. Yeah, so we stand up for the national anthem. For AU anthem, I'm used to the national. Too much of national. Thank you once more. Bon voyage. Thank you. What close? Oh, thank you, interpreters. Interpreters, thank you very much. Oh, you are here. Indeed. Indeed. Indeed.
Hello, 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 hello. Can you? So, okay. Then we're going to engage with you on one or two questions that we may have as the president gears up to lead the Pan-African Parliament again. Excellency, Mr. President, the floor is yours.
I thought I would proceed through questions. I've been addressing them. They should ask me questions better.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'll interact that way.
Kaya, please. Kaya, introduce yourself and please ask your question.
Hi, good afternoon. Kumalo here from SABC News. I just want to know, Mr. President, since you're coming back, what do you make of some of the reports that
We cannot hear the speaker. We cannot hear the journalist. It's impossible.
Journalists use the microphones.
a brief on South Africa's election? Are you going to have an observer mission that will be also overseeing the election?
Kindly allow the journalists to use the microphone so that interpretation service can cover, please. Please use microphones.
When you ask a question, can you use the mics so that interpretation? I don't think we're talking about it.
Good afternoon, President. This is Tuso from ART German Right. You rightly said Africans are asking, what is this PAP? As you take over in this last leg of your term, what that you are putting at the top of your agenda as a parliament, especially when Africa is asking questions, what is PAP beside other reports that we're getting that there are people fighting, PAP is not sitting. What exactly are you aiming at now in this last leg? Thank you.
Take a third one. Is it third question? Well, it means the president. You have a question.
Yeah, thank you very much. Your Excellency, you indicated in your marks that the elections are over, and so everyone should be back to. But I want to find out the acrimony leading up to this election, how it affected the image of the parliament. What are the plans that the Bureau has to ensure that the PAP restored that image that was damaged? Thank you very much.
You okay with the last one?
Yes.
Good afternoon, good evening. My name is Bongani for News Central TV. I just want to, it's a follow-up question from one of my colleagues on what strategy you're bringing. And also, PAP has been speaking about silencing the guns in Africa, but nothing much has been done. And we see Nigeria, Sudan, DRC, in Mozambique, guns hasn't been silenced. What are you bringing now? Or you have said it in your last election, you spoke at length about silencing the guns, but rather nothing has been done, and we have not heard anything from PAP or even any comments about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, may I recognize the Bureau here? I'll start from the last question, I'll go upwards. Silencing the guns is a major challenge on this continent. We are actually very disappointed, even as a continental parliament, that we still have unconstitutional changes of government in this day and age. Those things used to be common in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and after 1980, they disappeared. And I think from 2000, we had a very peaceful period. But all of a sudden, the coups are back, the military back in offices. Currently, we have probably more than 6 or so such governments. That is a saddening situation for Africa. The Pan-African Parliament, and one of its mandates, what go functions, is to ensure that there is democracy on the continent and a culture of democracy. And democracy only exists if we do not have military coups. But this is a subject that our committee, we have a committee which is specific on that subject, whose portfolio is to look at the issues of conflict on the continent. We call it Committee on Cooperation, International Relations, and Conflict Resolution. This committee has been active in the past when we were well funded. It has been all over on the continent, Sudan, Darfur, DRC, West African countries. We've done very well. We would want to rejuvenate those activities because when Gaddafi was chair of AU, then the AU said, we no longer accept a government that is run by the military. No ways. Impose sanctions, all sorts of things. So, chair of AU Gaddafi, can you go to Mauritania and tell them that this is a non-starter? Please, military, go back to your barracks. When His Excellency Gaddafi landed at Nouakchott in Mauritania to tell the Mauritanians that the coups are no longer allowed in Africa, the AU said no. He was received, that is a meaning Gaddafi, was received by thousands of people in the airport, in the whole country, saying, Mr. Gaddafi, these people who overthrew the government, we love them so much. We like, they were celebrating the military. The whole country was celebrating the military. So the AU's agenda of unconscious change of government means was more of theory. People liked the military. It's for another day. For another day. So what are the dynamics? There's something about Africa that is lacking. And I would want the media to keep asking us these questions. Why do we have this appetite in Africa for military coups? And maybe because we are here to learn. You know, in Burkina Faso, some 7, 8 years ago, the parliament changed or amended the constitution to allow the president, the sitting president, another extra term after 2 terms. You all know that the people voted and they banned the parliament, telling the MPs, who told you to amend the constitution? So I'm simply saying, when we say democracy, even where we have people who are elected, we have problems. You asked me, how do we restore the image of PAP? And I was saying to myself, media, you are a platform to try and communicate with the citizens of this continent. We need some, I don't know what you can call it, memorandum of understanding, whatever, with the media. Let's work together. I remember at one point, maybe 2003, yes, no, 2023, we agreed with you, the media, that we wanted to have a platform, PAP and the media, where we share from time to time and you remind us. The best way is to go back to the media, but also PAP itself should conduct itself in a manner that will build confidence in the public, in the citizens of this continent. I'm president of PAP, but certainly if you asked me, no, PAP has not quite conducted itself in order to build confidence in the public. So this bureau, that's item number 1, beginning this week. What is it that we should correct about the image of Pan-African Parliament? One thing that is clear about PAP, why we have these problems also, we have too many elections. over the past, if you look at the past 4 or 5 years, too many elections. And each time we have an election, there's a lot of acrimony, a lot of fighting, and other behaviors which I can't disclose to the public. So we'll try and do that. What is PAP? I think we'll invite you to, in May, we'll have a day where I will again want to do some reflections on PAP since 2004. I promise that when we come for the May session, we'll dedicate a day, and the media will be invited. Then the issue of finances, I think there are two issues. We have what we call external audit reports for the years 2022 going backwards. And naturally, there will be audit queries going back, I don't know how many years. Those are acceptable, and from time to time, in my speech, I told you that we have been reducing. Some of these are not about our bureau. Some of these will be at 2021, 2019. If there was a query, we work on it to make sure that we correct. Then there is the issue which started after August 2023. I think that's a unique period. There has been no external audit during that period, which means there's been no audit on this bureau, external audit, which is there. So where is this coming from? I want to be clear. It became just an electioneering type of gimmick. When you talk of August, prior to August, between 2022 June and August 2023, I think let's be careful. What happened during that period? I think you will learn as you go. It was just people who were using some unprocedural way to try and assassinate characters and say, this is what happened. Then there's a question that they ask, why didn't we hold the session in August and November last year? Where did the money go? Oh, you took the money. That's very, very unfortunate, very unfair. If you want documents, I can give you. In March 2023 and May 2023, our finance committee here presented a report here and said the budget allocation for 2023 can only cover committee session in March and the plenary session in May, and it's done, it's over. If you want details, the AU allocated totally insufficient fund for 2023. They worked on the assumption that because they were planning in 2022, they thought COVID would continue, so we would be sitting virtually. And reduced the amount for a March session for committees, which is usually 900 per session, and 1,000. They reduced it to 500 for 2 sessions, March and August. You see, just look at the mathematics. That you usually use 900, you are given 500 to cover 2 sessions. When 900 is about the minimum for 1, but you are given 500 for 2. But we managed within the constraints to hold the March session. But to have change for August was impossible. The same with the May session. For a proper 2-week session, we need about 1.3 million for a session. We were allocated 900 for 2. 900,000 for 2 sessions. Again, it was impossible. But we did the May session. And indeed, there was no money. I presented the foreign ministers on the need to have more money for Papa. And they said, yes, give them. That money never came. And that's why there was no session in October. There was no money. Simply no money allocated by the AU. But it has been used for political electioneering. No. But look, that's cheap politics. Forget about it. These are the questions. And we'll await the audit, the forensic audit. Very good. We need it. Let it come. it will shame a lot of people. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, colleague. Of course, the president, will access. We'll talk about one-on-one.
Microphone, 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 please.
To do that. I know of us. Yes. Decide them. Yeah.
Is he available?
Outside. Because if he leaves now, yeah. What is